What's up, Earth? How is it going? Welcome to the show. I hope that you are doing spectacularly well. I am doing great. I am super excited about what we are talking about today. It is about first love and it is on Netflix. Before we get into it, can I ask you to please go ahead and hit the subscribe button? I hope that this topics that we cover truly helps you and inspires you in some shape or form. And if you would like to share with other people, go ahead, share. It's about sharing, right? And yeah, and leave comments below about the video and what movies you would like to hear me talk about and what life lesson I have gained from it. So yes, thank you in advance for subscribing. So let's get into First Love. Let me give you a quick rundown. It is a 2022 series on Netflix and it is subtitled, but it also has dubbing. It is about a man and a woman who are haunted by the memories of their unforgettable first love. Ye wants to become a stewardess, but then she has an accident that causes her to lose her memory. Meanwhile, Haramuchi Namaki becomes a pilot in the Japan Air Force. And then they're separated for 15 years due to her memory because her mother wanted her to marry someone that was rich and she felt like Namaki wasn't rich, and so she told him to get lost pretty much, and he did, but he was still very much in love with her because he would always send her letters upon letters upon letters. But guess what? The mom never gave her the letters. So she never knew about him. She literally forgot about her first love. She forgot about him. She forgot everything. She lost her memory. And she also forgot being a flight attendant. But I think as time went on, she did kind of remember that she wanted to be a flight attendant. But she really lost the majority of her memories for over 15 years. But then when they reconnected, he couldn't really tell her, we've already met or anything, but they did start to bond and she started to like him. He never stopped loving her. He had a relationship, he was going to get married, and she was also married, and she had a son with this husband. He was a doctor, so he had the money, but she wasn't happy and it wasn't a good relationship. So they ended up getting a divorce. But Namaki, who was her first love, he was always still in love with her. He was engaged, but at the end of the story, he never did marry her. What I loved about this story is the fact that it was very realistic, right? When tough time comes in, how do you handle it? Right? No relationship is smooth sailing. There's no such thing as a smooth sailing relationship. There'll be financial struggles. There'll be emotional struggles. There'll be health struggles, right? She lost her memories and she didn't remember him whatsoever. I do believe, though, that if the mother had not intercepted or what is the right word? Mingled with their relationship, that she would have gotten her memory back. He kept writing to her and she never got it because her mother never gave it to her. Her mother always intercepted. So she literally had no memory of who he was. She lost all of her memories. So there are so many things that happen in our relationship, but he was ready to love for the both of them. He was not going to give up. Yes, he met someone. She also got married, had a kid, right? But she divorced. But he always had a place for her. Even with the woman he was with, he never truly let go of her. So when they reconnected 15 years later, it was like, oh my gosh, it was everything for him. And he thought that maybe they could strike up something new. but he knew that the true relationship they had that she had forgotten about was what he wanted back. So when we face hard times in relationship, it doesn't mean the end of our relationship. It doesn't mean the end of our love. It just means we have to go through those tough times. And we cannot neglect or forget what we have already built because we are going through tough time. One of the things you can do to overcome tough times in your relationship is communication. Communication is everything. Over communicating, no matter how hard it is. I think that nowadays we just want everything easy, but nothing is easy. Communicating is hard. Being vulnerable with someone is hard, but you have to do it in order for your relationship to succeed. It's not about you. And when you communicate, also listen. Don't overtalk each other. Listen. I always pray, God, help me to be a good listener, because my opinion does not change anything. Help me to listen, because when people feel like they are being heard, they feel valued. So when you are communicating, also listen. Listen to what your partner is asking. Listen to what your partner wants. Listen to what they're saying. Because what this does is that it builds an understanding and it strengthens your bond. And if it's too bad, if it's just too difficult, or you don't know how to communicate effectively, then I would suggest therapy. I have my own therapist, and I talk to a therapist about whatever challenges I'm going through. Couples, there are couples therapists out there. You communicate together. But I think the most effective way of communicating is making sure that the both of you feel heard. Because it's not just about you. Okay? And so also, another effective way is to find a shared hobby or activity. In First Love, they both love listening to music. There was this particular song or it was CD back then when they met that they would listen to, right? And it is actually that album is the album that the show is actually based on, First Love. And so they would listen to that. And do you know that when she listened to that song, right, on the show, when she listened to that song, all her memories came rushing back. All her memories about him, about the first things they've shared, because they were each other's first time of having sex and all of that. Everything came rushing back for her. Because they used to do that together. They would listen, they'd share their headphones. It's so beautiful, it's so romantic. And they would share that. So when you have the same activity together or hobby, you spend quality time together doing something you both love, and it reignites, your relationship, and it brings back the fun and joy you first shared when you first fell in love, which is what it was in the movie. She remembered when they first met and everything they did together. What's also crucial during tough times is to support each other during tough times. You have to be there for one another when you need each other the most. Show empathy, understanding, and always offer a shoulder to lean on. Remember that your partner is not in this journey alone. He never wanted her to go through losing her memory alone. But he had no choice. The mother literally I can't even say the word, but deleted him from everything, right? And that was really sad. But you've got to support each other. It's not always about you. It's not always about you. So you've got to support each other. It is so crucial. We can't do this world alone. I'm a big loner, and I know I can't do this world alone. It's important that we do that. And even though you're going through tough times, the third one is don't forget to laugh and have fun. Laughing helps to remove stress, right? And you've got to find humor in small moments and then create memories that will bring you closer together. He was always happy to make her laugh, and he would think of things that they've shared before, and he'd see how she would respond to that, and she would respond in the same way. I'm telling you guys, First Love it's a very beautiful story. It might seem a little bit drawn out, but it's very beautiful, and it has a very powerful message to it, in that this guy was very selfless in his love. He really loved her. He couldn't go on without her. And even after 15 years later, when they meet, he still loves her. So no matter how challenging things may seem, love always has the ability to conquer any obstacles, and it strengthens our bond. I think the key is remembering why you fell in love in the first place. And it is important that you allow that to be your guiding light. So if you're facing tough times in your relationship, know that you're not alone. But to overcome that, communicate effectively, seek professional help if you need it, nurture your connections, all right? And don't give up on it. It is so important to realize the power of love and how significant it is, and how it can overcome anything. No matter how cliche that might sound, when you watch First Love, it overcame everything. There are people that have been married for years, or even not years, and they might have dementia. But they're still there supporting their loved ones, because it's not about them, because they have chosen to remember why they fell in love with this person in the first place. And they're not picking up their bags and running. They're not giving up. I would like to encourage us with 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. Love endures long and is patient and kind. Love never is envious, nor boils over with jealousy, is not boastful or vainglorious, does not display itself haughtily. So no matter what, love is consistent. Whether today is challenging, whether today is sunny, love is consistent. And First Love really, really took that idea and truly executed it in the most beautiful and romantic way. They did end up together once she got her memory back. And then they started working together. She realized her dream of becoming a stewardess, and he started flying commercial as opposed to flying with the Air Force. So it was a beautiful story. So I am so sorry that you are facing a difficult time in your relationship. But if you don't give up on it, if you endure through this, you will have a beautiful story to tell. Until then, please, if you like this video, share it, like it, comment below on your thoughts on First Love when you've watched it, or if you have watched it, let me know what you think. And also remember to subscribe. Until next time, y'all, take care of yourself. Bye bye.